Show me your friends and I'll show you your future. This phrase was always told to me as a young kid growing up by my mom. And as a kid, when you hear this, you think, yeah, well, don't be friends with mean people and you won't be mean, right? Well, this phrase truly has so much more deeper meaning than just not being friends with mean people. Growing up, my family moved quite a bit. We moved from Missouri to Illinois to Missouri again, and then finally to Tennessee. So I moved from the time I was in the 4th grade until I was in the 7th grade. So it was a big chunk of time where I really didn't have a good set of friends just because I was constantly moving, always ready for the next move. And each time I moved to a new state, what's the first thing you want? Friends, right? So every school year, as we're about to begin, my mom would always remind us of the same phrase. Yes, that phrase, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. And then now that I'm older, I'm able to go back and reflect on all my past friendships and just really see how that phrase has inspired me just to make sure that my friendships are good Christian relationships that make me strive to want to be a better Christian as I grow up. There's a verse in Proverbs that says, walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffers harm. And this really just struck me as I was starting to write this speech. I was talking to my mom about this phrase, and she told me about this verse, and it really just struck with me that when you walk with someone who is a good influence, that's how you become. And when you hang out with people who bring you down most of the time, it can cause you harm. Growing up, I had a childhood best friend who we were inseparable, and moving back to Missouri was a great time because we were able to grow our friendship as I was in the 6th grade. And then finally I moved to Tennessee, and she ended up getting a job at a restaurant and became friends with just people that weren't the best people. They did drugs, they drank, and they just really weren't great people. So eventually we got into high school, and she dropped out of high school and moved out of her parents' house and into an apartment with us girls. And as you can imagine, she did not do the best things, and it just devastated me and the rest of her family. Eventually, after many years, she changed her life around, and she graduated high school this last year and is currently working towards going to college in a few years. Now, this is an extreme example of what this phrase means, but it's true. Who you surround yourself with, whether you realize it or not, can change your outlook, perspective, and meaning of life.